All right, we ain't even do the music. Okay, what's up, boys? Great, DopelivenTV. Having some difficulties here, but we got them straight right now. Man, look, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me. We had a lady on yesterday talking about the finances and everything, but today, and she was talking about basically, she was saying how you should do this with your money, do that with your money. But today, we got Nailah Fisher. Nailah Fisher know just a little bit more, right? And Gina, yes, Gina, I'm late. I'm late. Yes, I am. But again, Nailah knows. I mean, Nailah is a financial advisor. She's oh, wait a minute. She's helping everybody to how do we want to say it? She's helping everybody to do some different things with their money. All right. So let's get Nailah on here real quick. Gina, what's going on?
Hey,
Yeah, it's a little bit messy tonight. I'm sorry, but
that's okay. That's how things happen.
yeah, but this ain't supposed to happen. Just like we got Nyla over there chilling, waiting. She over there chilling.
Hey, Nyla.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you fine. Okay.
Okay,
Now
perfect.
I'm gonna have to, Gina. You're gonna have to do a little bit of improvising right now because I got to get something straight here. So
Mhm.
talk to Nyla for a second or two while I straighten some things out.
Hi, Nyla.
Hi,
And Nyla,
Gina.
we're gonna be right back. I'll be right back, but you got Gina right quick, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right, go ahead, Gina.
Well, I know we had to wait a bit, but there were technical difficulties, but we're still glad to have you on. And I know there's going to be good information that you're going to give. So I'm real excited.
Yes, I am super excited to be on tonight. Super excited to give some insight. Super excited to be able to be a resource to so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and really excited to get some feedback and some questions coming in so I can kind of help answer and guide people in the right direction.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Talking money is always an interesting conversation.
Right. I know as a financial representative, that's like the epitome of what we do, right? But in life, that is literally everything revolves around money. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
definitely something that has to be talked about, whether you're risk managing or wealth managing.
Mm-hmm.
Financial literacy is super important.
Yes, I agree with you on that. And a lot of people don't know the information or, some how to manage money, some how to grow their money simply because it's not taught in schools. They may not have the resources to teach them or show them. And so a forum like this and having someone on like yourself can help individuals to know what direction to go in.
Yeah, of course. School, you're right. Schools don't teach about financial literacy. And if they do touch on it, it's definitely not something that is in an in-depth conversation
Right.
that is helpful. I mean, even colleges, going to school, even for finance, or I mean, unless you're really, really into that field, you're not learning. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
was a business major. My first degree is a business degree. I think I took one business contracting course. I took one finance course, one accounting course, and they're all like a broad overview, but nothing really goes in depth about things um, that are really important as far as your everyday. It goes in depth that that's going to be your job.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you details about the intricacies on the interior, on the back end of what you're supposed to be doing, but there's really nothing that teaches you about how to live life, right? And the average
Right.
person is needing to know their financial literacy, and the information they're getting is about how to live life, and that's
Right.
important.
Yes, very important. Well, tell us a little bit about your educational background.
So I originally went to Iowa Wesleyan University. I went there in 2016. I stayed there for about a year and a half. And then I transferred. I was a business major with a minor in criminal justice. Plans were at the time to be a criminal defense attorney. Um,
Wow.
yes, yes, very different than what I do now, right?
I want
But
to
as
understand.
time progressed, everyone grows. And as time progressed, I when I transferred to Rasmussen University, that was not necessarily an option to have that minor.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the reason I went into business is because you can go to law school with any degree. It's quite like medical school. You kind of get a biomedical or biology degree or some type of degree, and then you go into medicine. You go through med school and you choose your specification once you're done with med school. And law school is very much like that. You choose your specification once you've gone through law school. So transferred, and I was only a business major. Got my business degree, business administration and management. And then went back to school right after. And I just recently obtained my human resources and organizational leadership degree, so a dual degree. So it's like I have 3 degrees, kind of.
Jenny, you're on mute.
You
You're
know
on
what?
mute.
I don't know if it's me, but everybody's kind of glitching and freezing right now.
Yeah, I think it's you, Nyla. Gina, you were on mute, so nobody heard that question you just
Is it
asked.
me?
No. Well, the only thing I said was you have a very extensive educational background.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think it's fine
everything's a
on
little
my
bit
end
different.
though.
Yeah, it's fine on my end too. I think Nyla, you might be having some technical difficulties on your end.
It's fine now. I don't know. For a second, everything was just like slowing down while you were
Yeah.
coming in. Great.
Yeah, I
So
think it
everything
was
is
just
good now.
yeah.
Blame it on the host, right? Blame it on the That's all good though. And I was here everything. What was happening was that, because I was a little late, and I'm gonna be honest, I gotta be transparent. Um, Gina knows me very well, and she knows that I'm always working. So I literally fell asleep and I woke up at 7:08. But
Wow. Okay.
but it's never too late to learn anything. I don't care if you sleep, you dream about your money, okay? But it's never too late to have some financial wisdom and create some financial health for yourself. So, Nyla, again, I want to apologize for being late, but number two, thank you for coming on. I heard everything, and I hope everybody knows that even though you got the 3 degrees, okay, and you wanted to go into law, look at you now, girl. See, I listen, I listen. So
Thank
how? I
you.
mean, what made you, if you don't mind me asking, what made you change directions like that? What made you change course?
So I realized one, law school is very, very expensive. It's like $300,000, and
That'll do it.
yeah, I was really, tussling. I was really like going in different directions. I like to help people. I like to hear about people's goals. I
Mhm.
wanted to help the community in some capacity. And the idea actually got presented to me in 2019. And at the time, I wasn't in a position. I was working for a mortgage company. I was not in the position financially myself, financially to take that leap, to go through the process and the educational component while I was in school, might I add,
Right.
in order for me to obtain what was necessary to be a financial advisor, a financial representative. And so I had to put it on hold, but it was always something I was interested in. I like money. I think that's in short, that's the very simple answer, is that I like money, and I like, and my philosophy and what I like to do is help others and myself to make money grow. I like to go through different things to figure out how to make money grow. And the other part of it was I was trying to get rid of debt. I had went through a car repossession that summer.
Mm.
Well, that process, it didn't fully get repossessed because I paid it, but I wasn't aware. And it kind of like woke me up a little bit, I guess you could say, because as I was going through this process of reading and researching and learning about the financial industry and what I was going to be, kind of getting myself into, I started to realize like the reason that happened is because I literally did not have the financial information. I didn't know that if you don't pay your car note for a certain amount of months, then that bank will come take your car. I thought it was a dollar amount. I'm like, well, I'm not like $3,000 behind. Like, I'll be cool. But because I was like 2 or 3 months behind, that was what happened. So I started thinking, if I don't know these things, or if I was never taught these things, how many other people were never taught these things?
Right.
But what was still hindering me was the finance aspect. And then it was brought to me by another company, which is Northwestern Mutual is the umbrella that I'm under now. And I was looking for a job. I was at the Rasmussen job fair because of the pandemic. And they were talking to me about, they're like, I think you would be a great financial advisor. I was like, I've already been researching this, but it wasn't the right time for me
Mm.
because as you guys know, building your own business, that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work, and that takes some grind that's a little different. You might not see, the money up front like a secure job does. It's different. And so I was like, I need cash flow right now. I need money right now. I can't really afford to do this. So they worked with me on a different time frame, but it's always really been about that click, that transition of I didn't know these things. I didn't know about how to get these things off my credit. I knew I didn't want a bunch of student loans to boggle me down for the rest of my life.
Right.
And I knew I didn't want I really just like wanted to pay the car off and told them like I can't keep this responsibility. And I know a lot of other people who go through similar situations. And so now here I am.
So the need to help people was one, but I noticed something. We talked to somebody yesterday, and we've talked to people before. It always starts with everybody losing their car or getting ready to lose their car. I'm serious. The change is real. You're ready to get that car taken. So we could take it down the block. We had it at somebody's house in their garage, or park it 5 blocks away, then walk. But the reality is, all right, we didn't have our finances in place so that we could pay that car note, so that we wouldn't have to do all this subterfuge. So,
Yeah.
I mean, good job. So, how many when it comes to creating financial health and getting to a point where you're at least on the track to becoming financially healthy, what does it take to get that start? What outside of being faced with a situation? Okay, how does someone go through the process of starting to create financial health?
Well, for for every person, it's different based on what your goals are in life, right? So I don't have kids, right? I'm young, I don't have kids, I'm engaged. And so my goals look very different than someone who has a family or who's already married. So people my age coming out of college, their goals are very different than someone who's ready for retirement. So to get financially healthy, you have to identify what you want in life. And I think a lot of people it's a common misconception, and a lot of people get lost in the idea of if you look at movies and it's like I have to come in with $2 million in order for me to start financial planning, and that's not it. You need to figure out what's important to you in life,
Hmm.
and for and what your goals are. Where do you want to be? And my job is to help you figure out that path to get there. You just need to figure out where you're trying to go. It's like the GPS, right? Unless you plug in an address, the GPS will do the rest. You just need to tell them where you are and put in where you're trying to go, and the GPS does the path. So vision boards are easily one of the easiest things that I think people overlook, and they it's something that's so small and so it doesn't really cost anything other than you printing out or cutting out pictures, right? And putting it on this board and writing out these affirmations. It's something so small that people overlook it. But that's one of the first steps, the easiest things when you're like, well, I really don't know where to start. Well, that big um that big house that you want, go find one. My grandmother just we were just talking about this. My grandmother has been in the insurance industry my entire life, almost 30 years. She kind of also pushed me in this direction when I told her this is what I like to do. This is kind of where I want to go, and she was like, "Yeah, you you need to do this." But she's building a house. Her house will be done next month. Um and what she had done was she had saved a bunch of pictures on her computer years ago of that type of house that she wanted, this cottage. And so funny enough, on Sunday we drove by the house as it, was being constructed. And she was showing me pictures of kind of like how we went into one of the model homes to see how the house was kind of gonna look. And then we get home and she shows me this cottage and it's so similar to what has actually come to fruition, right? But you have to manifest it. And that's really was just, this is what I want. And that's how you start it. You need to know what your goals are. I want to save for my kids' education. I want to have this amount of money by the time I'm ready to retire. I want to pay off this credit card. Baby steps.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, say someone puts a vision board together, um, and say they come to you. First of all, say they come and reach out to you and say, "Well, hey, look, Nailah, am I saying it correct, Nailah, or is it Nailah?
Yeah, you are.
Nailah.
You are.
Okay. Nailah, I wanna put a vision board together," and you tell them, "Go ahead." They put one together, and to you, knowing that you know how to do this, it doesn't make sense. The vision board is all over the place. Do you coach or help them to try to create some type of a goal, a vision?
Yeah, sometimes, people are on Mars and we got to bring them back to Earth, right? Sometimes I am a very ambitious person, so I never think that anyone's goals are too ambitious.
Mhm.
The I'll always ask first before I give my input. I need to understand why you're doing this. Why is your vision board? To me, it's chaotic, but my mom, for instance, she can be her office can be kind of a mess sometimes, but I bet you she knows exactly where everything is. So don't touch it. Don't move it around, right?
I
So
get it.
a lot of people are like that, where they know where they're going. They might have to explain it to someone else because we all think differently. So before I go and I tell you you're on Mars or you're on Pluto and I need you to come back here, I have to understand why these things are on your vision board and what's your why behind it. What's your reasoning? Why did you put this on here? If you can give me a reason, I can work with you. So I do coach, but I have to make sure I'm understanding instead of imposing my own input without the full picture. I have to know the entire point behind it first.
Well, I would imagine that everyone wants to get financially healthy, but
Right.
again, they don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then some people might feel that a financial advisor is too, and they want to ask, they want to learn, but they might feel
Yeah.
that you're too intrusive. You want to know everything about the nuances of my life. Some people are too proud to get there. Okay, I mean, how can? And I know you can see the need for some,
Mm-hmm.
but do they have to come and ask you, or do you suggest that, hey, maybe as you see them, do you
Mm-hmm.
ask, well, maybe, hey, I can help you out because I am a financial advisor. I mean, do you advertise like that?
Um, yes and no. There are, for me specifically in the organization that I'm under, Northwestern Mutual is one of the top companies in the country in their field. So I have rules and regulations and laws, and just Illinois in general has certain laws, and every state has certain laws. Indiana has certain laws that you have to
Hmm.
abide by when it comes to advertising financial services, because you have to be, like you said, transparent. Because a lot of things are deceiving, and a lot of that is in place because of scams, and I'm very now right now because of a lot of like scams with the PPP loans and all types of stuff.
Right.
A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are untrusting with their finances and their personal information, and a lot about them, because you're right, it is intrusive. So yes, I do reach out to people, but what I kind of do is I just want to have a conversation. And
Right.
that's how I started off. It's I'm not digging into your life right off the bat, trying to ask you why your car was repossessed in 2018 and how much money you do or do not have in the bank, right? I'm not starting our first conversations off like that. I'm just getting to know them, and you have to build that rapport and build that relationship and build that trust. You have to, um, because my goal is to build relationships that last 30, 40, 50 years, right? Where you hear people talk about, I have this is my family advisor, I've been working with the same person for the past 25 years. You're building a relationship so
Hmm.
that the person knows that you are essentially there for them. This is something that is important, and they're here for a reason, not because you're trying to really find out everything about them and nitpick or judge them. I don't want anyone ever to feel like they're judged, and I think that kind of can be the case. People feel like they're judged. So I build those relationships first by asking, what are your goals? Like I just asked you, or I just told you about the vision board. Essentially, you're telling me like what's on your vision board. What are your short-term goals, your intermediate goals, your long-term goals? Let's talk about this year. What do you want to accomplish? Okay, your personal life, do you want to start a business, do whatever? Okay, in the next 3 years, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to buy a house. Okay, what kind of house? And we just talk about, like, in just a conversation. Believe it or not, people like to talk about themselves. They do. People like to talk about themselves.
You're right.
It's
Except for everybody on this panel, we don't really talk about ourselves. We let everybody else talk about themselves. We
yeah.
listen. We
When
sit
we're
out.
having a conversation with people, it's natural. Once you start getting somebody rolling about talking about themselves, they talk about themselves. They like it. People like to tell you about what they want in life and their goals. It's something that people like to do. So once I know that, okay, and then we can start talking more about the finances. But let's talk about, I can't tell you what to do if I don't know why you want to do that. Why do you want to save this money? Oh, because I want to buy a house. Okay, well, let's talk about that. And they
Hmm.
talk,
And they talk and they spill and it just
and it's open, and they're comfortable. They're
right.
comfortable because
And I
I'm
think
not intrusive.
yeah, that's the most important thing, to be comfortable with telling someone else your story, basically. One of the viewers, Earl Davis, says, question he asks is it good to invest into yourself? If you work every day, is it okay to invest one day out of the week to yourself? And what type of savings? Says it's just a question.
So it's always good to invest in yourself. One day out the it depends on what you want, and how hungry you are for whatever it is you're doing. If you're investing into your business, you're probably gonna have to put in more than one day out the week. But to answer your question, and if I'm forgetting a part, Greg, please let me know if I'm forgetting anything that he asked. But
We can take it one by one if you like.
okay, so first thing, yes, it is good to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. That's and so you are aware, investing in yourself is more than um what society kind of deems it to be. Investing in yourself is also self-care. So don't run yourself into the ground. Take care of yourself. Aside from your work, right? And then put in whatever you put into your job. just know you're replaceable at that job. So put in 150, 200 more percent into whatever you're doing for yourself. It's going to take more work. It's going to be harder. You're going to want to quit more, but it's worth it, because if you think about investing into yourself, it's much like buying and renting a house. If I buy a house, it's more stressful. I am responsible for the lawn. I'm responsible for the utilities. I'm responsible if something breaks. I'm responsible, but I have equity. I have equity. It's my asset. Investing into yourself, you are your biggest asset. And your ability to make money and work is your biggest asset. Arguably, it's your biggest asset. What was his second question?
I think you answered it all.
Okay,
Question.
What type of savings?
Oh, what type of
Yeah, what
savings?
type of savings? Thank you, Gina.
That very much depends. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint to you what kind of savings, because it depends on what you're trying to do. There's a lot of different kind of savings. What I will say is savings accounts, regular savings accounts. They're not bad, but if you want your money to grow, then you need to branch out and um, figure out different things, and maybe talk to a financial advisor, financial representative like myself, and kind of explain more why you want your money to grow, what you're looking for in that growth. Because regular savings accounts are not compounding interest. Like if you just go to your bank and put in a regular savings account, the return on investment, or like the interest rate they give you, is typically really low. For the most part, it's a pretty low percentage. So basically what you're putting into it, that's as much money as you're going to get. Maybe a very small return, right? Like if it's 1% and you put in $6,000, um after that year, however much that grows, like 1% is like, I think, $60. So it's a very small. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, right. So it's very small, right? You put in that $6,000, but the bank only paid you $60, and basically they're taking your money anyway and investing it and making more money while it's sitting there. So if you're wanting to save and you're wanting your money to grow, those are two different things. You saying I want to save money um is a very different thing than you saying I want to invest my money so that it can grow. Or you saying I want my money to go towards something to help me in the future, right? You saying I want to save for a trip out next year, and it costs $10,000 to go to Africa or wherever you want to go, is very different than you saying in 30 years I want my money to look like this, and I'm willing to save and put in this much every year. Those are different things. So I can't tell you a specific one, but there are definitely options out there depending on what you're looking for.
okay. So there's other options. Do you do or subscribe to the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, and things of that nature? As you're giving the financial advice, you got that look on the face, Gina.
Yeah.
You give it that financial advice. Do you subscribe to that?
So professionally, that's not necessarily part of something that I don't tell my clients to necessarily do that. We talk about comprehensive planning. I'm a financial planner, so to speak, more than anything. Personally, yes. Those are things that I myself invest in, and that's just because it the foreign exchange market is always been there, always will be there, and it opens up more than just the stock market, and you can make money whether the market goes up or down. So like
Okay,
the
hold on.
pandemic.
Let me stop you there. Let me
Yeah.
stop you there. So personally,
Yeah.
yes, you Dodge Coin and Bitcoin and all of them. You in it, okay? So why won't you tell your people if you think it's good enough for you? Why won't you tell your people?
Because I'm under company. So
That's right.
yeah, so I work under an organization. Although I run my own financial planning like practice, like this is my business and my clientele is my clientele. Um, there we don't. How do I explain this? It's there are different sectors within financial services, right? Like I think earlier Gina and I were speaking and she was talking we were talking about I think the guest yesterday was talking about credit repair.
Hmm.
Um and she was in the financial services industry and she was like, "Well, maybe you can answer some of those questions." And I was like, "Well, I don't do credit repair. So I don't have the answers. Like I can tell you personally, but I don't have the answers to those as somebody who actually does that for a living because that's not what I do. I'm a financial planner. So I look at your goals and then we products and services are all specific to each company. So any organization, whether it be Northwestern Mutual, Fidelity, any organization, they all have their own products and services, maybe under like the same umbrella, but those products and services are unique to that company. So that's why I don't necessarily tell my clients there's like a distinguishing factor.
No, I get it. I get it. Because you're under someone else's umbrella,
Yeah, there's
you can't
compliant and legal, and there's certain things that I can and can't do for
Mhm.
say, and there's certain investment products that we specifically have. And I guess to kind of like sum it up, like that, these are things that are new up in like Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin's been around, but like Dogecoin taking off, like these are things that are new. Um, and they're things that you kind of are risking yourself based on there's different parts of the market too, just like there's different parts of financial services. There's a lot that goes into it.
Okay, that's fine. So we're to a point where we're ready to start doing this. We're ready to start getting financially healthy. Finally,
Mhm.
we've been to the water. We drank. Now we want to do it. Is there a certain direction that one has to go to get? I mean, Gina, help me. Sometimes I ask questions and I got to think about them. So Gina, help me. And normally Gina gets me and she takes it out of me and she just goes ahead and tell. But I'm trying to say, is there a certain direction that this person has to be geared towards to want to start this financial endeavor? Okay, to try to get it, because there's a lot of people that um, say, and I'm not saying, and anytime I sound arrogant, please slap me virtually. All right. Okay. I think that I'm financially healthy. I don't worry about it. I don't have any bills. Um, is there people like myself?
Mhm.
Can I do? Is there something that I need to do even better as far as safeguarding my financial health?
Yes.
No,
Yes. um,
no.
yes. So
I'm perfect.
so I don't know, like I don't know specifically everything that you already have done
Hmm.
for yourself, but um want to kind of touch on your first point first is when it comes to financial planning, or at least what I do, we do the heavy lifting and the hard work. So a lot of people don't have time or the energy. It takes a lot of work to do all these things. A lot of people don't have time, a lot of people don't have energy, a lot of people don't have the resources, and that's why you go to a financial planner.
Hmm.
Um because that's our job. That's why you go to an organization or a company, or that's my job. We plan, we sit out, we make the plan, and you agree to the plan, and you say, okay, this is something I can commit to, and then we go do the hard work. So you're not worried about, okay, what stocks and what's this and what that. Like, yes, you
Right.
can watch everything, or even if it's something like, where is my retirement fund looking like, or where are we with the college? That's not your um it's not something you have to worry about. Okay, that's why you have a financial planner. That's what they're there for. They're there to do the heavy lifting. All you do is, I'm the GPS. Tell me where you want to go. I show you the route. whether it's tolls, no tolls, whatever. You tell me which route you think is best for you. I show you what our options are. And to answer your question, um, there's always things that you can do better. So like I was saying, your greatest asset as a human being is your ability to make money. Um, and so you have to protect that asset. That's your biggest asset. You have to
Mhm.
protect it. And I don't know what you have, but a lot of people are like, "Well, I've already planned for retirement." Okay.
Can you
Um,
really, is that really a good statement to say to anybody? I've already planned for retirement because anything can go wrong.
you're right. Anything can go wrong. Or yes, you plan for retirement, but did you plan for it in the future? Did you plan for it if something happens to you and you're not able to work until retirement? Right?
Mhm.
Did you plan for if you need some type of disability assistance or long-term care assistance? Did you plan for that part? Did
See,
you have you planned for an emergency? Because I can tell you right now, 99% of the entire world has not did never planned for a pandemic. I can tell
right.
you that right now. 99% of the world did not plan for a pandemic. So did you plan your emergency fund, and how well did you plan it? Because the cost of living goes up every single year. So there's always something, I feel that anyone could add value um to. And a lot of times we don't think through everything. That's why we have people like myself who do what we do, right? Because you might think you have an airtight, a solid plan. I've planned for my kids' education. I've planned for my retirement. I planned for the trips that I want to make. I'm debt free. I paid off my debt. I own my home. But there's plenty of people who been in a great financial place and still end up their home foreclosing. I worked in the mortgage industry. You know how many people that I had to go through all of their finances with and ask them like what they do for a living. And I've talked to some actors. I've talked to famous people who, like, I'm like, oh, what are we doing? Who don't
Mhm.
necessarily, you would never think. So there's always room for arrogant people like yourself, so to speak, to sit down. And what's the worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, you're all buttoned up and what you're doing is great. Best case scenario, I'm saying best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you got some air pockets that we can fill in.
Yeah. Okay. There's and I always have this useless information that I look up before I come on, and you can dispel this at any time. But CFSI, whoever they are, has defined four components of financial health. They say the four components are spend, save, borrow, and plan. And it says that these components mirror your daily financial activities. Do you agree with that?
I think I would. I think that everything that you do in life, on your day-to-day basis probably does mirror those things, right? You're gonna go spend money on gas.
Hmm.
Then you're gonna look at something and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that costs too much." So either I need to save for it or I'm not gonna get it because it costs too much. What were the other two that you said? You said spend and save. What were the other two?
Borrow, borrow, and plan.
Okay. Um, a lot of people, oh, I'll just use my credit card. That's smart, but technically you're borrowing. Even though it's like something that you don't think about, like you're gonna pay it off, but technically you're borrowing. Or whether you're gonna go get a loan for a house, unless you're paying cash for your $300,000 house, like you're borrowing. Unless you're going to buy your car cash, you're borrowing. There's a lot of things that we borrow for that it doesn't seem like we're borrowing, like you own it, but you're borrowing. And forgive me, I forgot the last one again.
Um,
Plan.
yeah.
Plan. Yeah, you plan out your life every single day. A lot of people wake up and make a to-do list and then they check off the boxes. And then they check off their day-to-day tasks. That's planning. Oh, I need to plan out my day. Or some people plan out their workouts. Some people meal prep. Planning. You go through it every day.
So you mentioned credit cards and this and that. Okay, um, there's a such thing as good debt and bad debt.
Mhm.
Um, high income houses, low income households, positive net worth, negative net worth. What are some of the ways that people can gauge their finances, and how do you measure your financial health?
So me personally, um, I think that they're based off of your goals. Some people are okay with having credit card debt because it's helping them at the moment to build their credit in a positive way,
Hmm.
right? I have student loans. It does not affect my credit score because unless my loans go into deferment, which I just graduated recently, so that's not something that I have to pay at the moment. So that amount that's on there as part of my debt is not bad. My car, it's not bad debt because it aids in my history, because my car was the first thing that I got that gave me credit other than my student loans, right? So I think it's all personal as to how you gauge your health. Of course, your credit score helps you to do that, right? Everyone is aware of their credit scores, and everybody knows that 850 is the highest you can get. So anything, mm, I would say short of like 650, um, to most institutions is questionable. A lot of institutions, anything above 100 is questionable. So your personal goals impact what you think is financially healthy because you know somebody might go and they might think that it's okay for them to go buy something on their credit card for $11,000 and they have that as debt, but that's because they know their finances.
Mm.
Other people accidentally rack up, or they rack up because they're not in a position and they need money and they just borrow, 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 and they can't pay it off. And they're stuck collecting interest because they're paying minimum payments every month and they're not paying it completely off. I I can't necessarily gauge whose financial health is what because that's a personal thing. Like I would have to know your personal, a lot about you or a lot about your spending habits, but
Yeah.
you know yourself the best. So a lot of people, yeah, you know when your financial health is bad because you know your financial habits. That has a big part of your financial health. Your financial habits has a major part of your financial health and also your financial literacy. They don't teach these things in school. While you're away, Gina and I were talking about that. They don't teach this in school. They don't teach you about credit cards. I had a economics class when I was in high school. My teacher got to the tax unit and he decided to skip over it. I was like, that's the most important thing that I could have learned my entire high school career is taxes, and you just gonna skip over? He's like, yeah, I don't feel like teaching it.
Yeah.
So you know your financial habits though. You know what you know, but it's difficult because you do better when you know better. And if you don't know better, you can't do better. But you
So,
learn as you get older and as you experience things and you go through life, you learn things and you learn more about yourself and you know what you're doing to a certain extent. And you know that you have a thing called intuition. Women
mm,
have women's intuition, but everybody has some type of intuition. And when your gut feeling tells you you probably shouldn't do that, it's more than likely right because you probably shouldn't do that. And you know that with your finances too. I know it. I Everybody makes, mistakes, but you know when you're doing something that could damage your financial health and that you shouldn't do it.
wow, that's strong right there. So basically, what I take from that is, if you want your money to work for you, you have to know where it is and what it's doing. Correct.
Yes. So I had a coworker, and she was talking about she wanted to save money. She was talking about she needed to save money. She was making moving. She wanted to start doing a lot of things, and but she came into work with Dunkin' Donuts every day. And I asked her, I said, how much it cost? She goes, well, I'll probably spend like, I don't know, like $6 at Dunkin' Donuts every single day. I said, you go there every day before work? She was like, yeah, I have to get my coffee. I said, oh, okay. So you spend $30 a week. She was like, I mean, yeah. I was like, so just on Dunkin' Donuts, like just on coffee or a donut or a bagel, like you spend $30 a week, every single week. There's 5 days in a week, a work week. You get it every day. Okay, yeah, okay. So there's typically 4 weeks in a month. You spend $120. That's a bill. That's one bill.
Right.
People don't think about these little things. You have to know where your money is going. You have to. If you just cut out Dunkin' Donuts, you know you can get an entire package of coffee and brew it yourself. Get up a little early in the morning because you're rushing all the time. So just get up 10 minutes earlier. So you have 10 minutes to make your coffee. You can buy a whole bag of bagels for like $2, $3 at the store, and a thing of cream cheese for maybe another $2 or $3. And you're set for like maybe 2 weeks on bagels and cream cheese, and that was $6 for like 2 weeks. Cream cheese might last the whole month actually. So like what, you might have to buy another thing of bagels. You straight for the whole month, right? And you paid what, $6 maybe in total for the bagels, $3 or $4 what for the cream cheese, and you have a whole thing of coffee that's probably gonna last you a good 3 months. And you paid probably $5 for that. So that $120 could have been saved, and that could go towards saving for anything. Whatever you're looking to save for, $120 adds up very fast. So you do have to be aware of what you're spending on. It goes over our head. You eat takeout every day. You spending like $200-300 a month because you eat out for lunch and you eat out for dinner when you could just meal prep, or you could just spend a little extra time, learn how to cook. I don't know, get some ramen noodles.
Exactly. And we talked on that before, Gina. You can speak on that too. Where I think I forgot who said it, but look at yourself as a bill in order to at least try to maintain some money. Look at yourself as a bill, as you said it yourself. You pay your car note, you pay your rent, you pay your utility. You know you're not getting that money back, but you prepared yourself at the beginning of the month to pay this. If you prepare yourself and put yourself as one of those bills, do you think, and maybe I'm wrong, do you think that that's one way that you can start creating some financial health for yourself?
Yeah. Um, a lot of things you can do. Little things you can. Some people are not ready to go give somebody their money, right? Or are trusting enough, especially depending on your community, right? And your upbringing and your culture. A lot of people are not um ready for that. And so if you look at yourself as a bill, you can do things where you can you can open up like a savings account or something. I actually had like a meeting this morning about this, oddly enough. You can set up like a savings account and have part of your check go to that, and you're not even thinking about it. um uh-oh, what happened to you guys?
Nothing. You're on you by yourself.
Oh, okay.
He moved the screen.
Oh, okay. I
I
didn't
can't,
see you
I
guys.
can't, I can't play with the platform a little bit. I was letting you. I was giving you the spotlight, girl. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What I was saying is you can have like part of your paycheck go to an account that a savings account, or whatever it may be, and you'll never see that money come out your paycheck, so you'll never miss it.
Right.
Eventually, if you set it up in the beginning, like it's not something you'll miss, especially if it's the same amount every time, and you have it set from the beginning that what 20% of your paycheck goes to this other account. I also separate my accounts. We have me and my fiance. We have our bills account, and where it's just bills. This account is strictly for bills. We monitor it strictly. The other account, I don't even know how much is in it because I don't look in it. But there's
Right.
money that goes into it. I don't even know what's in it. I have no idea how much money is in it because I don't look at it. I look at my bills account because that's what I need to manage. And you have to also make sacrifices. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice their lifestyle, but your lifestyle is not getting you to where you want to go. You live your lifestyle when you're in the position where you want to be. So a lot of people are like, well, I like designer clothes. Well, those designer clothes, are they going to make you any money? Are those like, if you look at billionaires and multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, and you look at all these people, for the most part, we're gonna exclude the music industry on this one, and the entertainment industry as a whole. We're gonna exclude them. But Bill Gates dresses very regular, very regular.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are millionaires, you never know they're millionaires or billionaires, because you identify millionaires and billionaires with a certain amount of money or a certain what they're wearing, and they walk around with something from Walmart, because clothes are clothes, and if it looks good, it looks good. I don't care whose brand it is. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Right? And they save all this money. But meanwhile, and this is no shade and no hate on anybody, because I have Jordans and I have nice things that I wear. But meanwhile, you spending, if you're a man, you're spending a good $220 on Jordans. And I know that because my brothers, um, yeah, yeah, $220. Yeah, I know it's $220 because my brothers ask me for shoes, and they have grown men feet. It's $220.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about shoes. That's a whole different. That's a whole different subject.
And I know it's a big thing for a lot of people, but $220 is a car note. $220 is a bill for a lot of people. It could be a couple bills.
What you
For
talking about?
me, $220, that's my light bill, that's my gas bill, that's that's a cell phone bill. That's in that whole $220, by the way, and I still have money left over. I could add another bill, my Wi-Fi. That's 4 bills for me. Four. $220 for me is 4 bills.
Nyla,
So
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
What do you say to people who will say, well, I can't save any money because all of my money is going towards bills? And that's the mindset of a lot of people. They feel like I can't save anything additional because I'm already tapped out.
Yeah, I feel you. I was there once. I lived paycheck to paycheck. Um, there are ways for you to save money. So this is gonna sound like it's difficult, but it's not. Turn your lights off in your house. Use the natural sunlight that you have during the daytime. And I know a lot of people say it to their kids, right? You don't need all them. Turn my lights off. No, but for real. So when we first moved, my fiance, her name is Sage. When we first got our first apartment, she handles a lot of our money as far as like finances, but I'm the finance person, if that makes sense. So like I had a little bit more experience when it came to bills. Like that's just my personality. I like to do things. I like to be independent. So she wasn't necessarily aware of like how light bills and gas bills and things like that work, but she manages, like she watches the account. How I said, like, I don't pay attention to that account, she does. She pays attention, but I have no idea. Most of the time I have no idea how much money is in either one of our accounts because I'm not worried about it. And even if I was worried about it, I don't look at it. She looks at it. I let her. She can do the stressing for the both of us, right? So so when we first moved, when we first got our first apartment together, that was her first apartment in general. It was the first time that I had to pay a light or a gas bill, but I knew about it. We pay all of our own utilities, even though we're renting. So she would unplug everything. Cause that uses up electricity, believe it or not. She would like unplug everything if we're not using it. If she could, she'd unplug the refrigerator, like if it was possible. If we're not using it, she would unplug it. But that helped keep our light bill really low. Like when a lot of times, like, and this, I think this is more so like for older generations, like maybe like my grandmother's generation. Like, I'm not turning the air conditioning or the heat on unless it's really, really cold outside.
Uh-huh.
I would just put on more clothes and put on more blankets, but we're not turning the heat on. Like, I'm not doing it. The air conditioning, I will plug in a fan before I run my air conditioning because it's
It'll be
not
it'll
necessary.
be it'll be the Bahamas in my house. I don't care. Like if it's 50, 40
Yeah,
degrees, it's Bahamas in my house. Period. You ain't gonna
yes,
want to ride in the car with me either if it's that either because I got the heat on 80. I just like heat. So I'm not saving yeah, all right.
yeah. So like you can save money there, or a lot of companies like kind of like bamboozle you, like when it comes to like your Wi-Fi, for instance, or your cell phone bill. There's a lot of things you can get around that, like your Wi-Fi. There's no reason that you need 100 speed high performance internet if all you doing is watching TV. If you don't have more than like 5 devices, you can get internet for like $30. But a lot of people are paying like $70 because they don't know that. Like you might be different because you have like a podcast, like in like I have like a work computer. I was going to school, so I had to make sure I had super high speed internet because I went to school online. But for the most part, we didn't need more. We didn't never had more than 5 devices. It's just two of us at the same time, running at the same time. There was never more than 5 devices running at the same time because it's just us. A lot of
You kill
people,
you killing me over here now.
they don't, but a lot of people don't know that. I don't know if you're married or not, Greg, or if you just if it's just you or if you have kids or whatever, but like you don't need to pay $70 in internet if it's just you. If you can afford it, yeah, but if you're trying to save money, like it's not necessary. Another thing you could probably do to save money is stop going to have drinks. Like a lot of people a lot of people, like they're like I don't have money, but they're not paying attention to, like, all your money's going on bills, but like look at your how much money do you spend in groceries every month? How much money do you spend in gas other than you going to work? Where are you going? Stay in the house. You pay to live there. Stay in there. You pay to be there. Honestly, like
You
truthfully.
gotta do some other things though, Nala. Come on, you gotta go out, you got
But
your
you have to prioritize what's more important to you.
life.
You're gonna go out and you're gonna have fun, but and then you're gonna spend money that you could have saved for one moment,
Well, what
right?
she's saying makes absolutely sense. You have to think about you're not the norm, but you have to think about average people and what
Hmm.
they're doing because a lot of times people spend money on the things that they want to spend money on.
Thank you. It's the same concept of people make time for what they want to make time for.
Mhm.
Everybody has 24 hours in a day. You make time for what you want to make time for. You spend money on what you want to spend money on, what's important to you, because a lot of people, they don't think about, they say like I spend all my money on bills, but they don't think about little stuff that might seem insignificant, like every time you go to the grocery store you got to buy a case of Coronas. Why? No, you don't. Or
You can
if you have a bad habit, or if you have a habit of something, like my mom, she chews gum. Like she's like addicted to gum. Literally. Like like she goes to like a pack of gum a day, like people who smoke cigarettes. Like she's addicted to gum.
but
I
you just let my joke go over your head. I said you can buy Corona, but go ahead.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry, you cut out. I just heard something Corona.
All I
I
said
thought you
was
said do you drink Coronas? But yeah, you can buy
buy
Corona.
Corona, the
Yeah,
virus.
yeah, but just make sure you wear your mask when you do.
See, she good. I like her.
But yeah, people have habits, but they don't think about their habits because they're a habit. It's a habit. You don't think about your habits. So when you're paying $9 on cigarettes, that's a little different because that's something that you have to learn how to like kick that habit. But like if you have a habit of every time you go to the grocery store, you always got to buy some candy in a soda or like pop. Don't do that anymore and see how much money you save. If you have a habit of every time you fill up your gas tank, you got to go in the gas station and get something. Well, the average person fills up their, especially like if you're traveling for your job, you fill up your gas tank at least 2 to 3 times a week. Most people, unless you live right across the street from your job, and you go to the gas station, you're going in there every week. The average person is spending, you're spending more money than you need to. There's money to be saved. If you're worried that much about I want to save money, and your friends are asking you to go out with them, you don't need to be going out with them. Because if that's your main priority, like, I get it, you want to go out, and that attests to a lot of people like my age or in general. You want to go out, but you're talking about you don't have no money, or you want to go out and you're talking about you need to save money. But every time your friends say let's go out to eat, you go out to eat. Or every time your friends say, "Oh, we go into a party," you spend your gas that you could have used for work. You spend money on drinks that you didn't have to. There, you have to prioritize what's important to you. If saving money is really important to you, you have to cut out the things that you might want. What you want now, you kind of have to wait till later. Like, you have to pick one. You have to choose what's important. Either you want something now or you want to be set later.
Well, it's like people don't look at it, but it's kind of like a financial diet. You know, a lot of times people don't look at their spending. You just spend. And when things come about and you want things, you just spend it. But you can, if you sat down and took a journal of your spending, you would realize some of the areas where you can save money and where you're spending unnecessarily. And so, you know, just like people sit down and when they're ready to lose weight, they sit down and they do a journal on what they're eating daily. You should do the same thing with your finances, because you're going to find those gaps in there.
That's fine and good. And you know, these shows lately have been making me take a good look at myself, because I'm that guy that you're talking about. I spend, you know, because I've come from the place where, you know, you can't take it with you. So if you're making it, you can't take it with you. So you might as well be happy with what you're doing right now. But you make a lot of sense, a whole lot of sense. I'm just not wanting to hear it. That's all. Go ahead.
I know, and I have a question for you. You're not married, right? You said you weren't, and you don't have any kids.
Yeah, I have a son who, I have a son.
You have a son, right? Okay, so you can't take it with you, but you don't want to set your son up to be able to be set when it's time for you to leave, or in case there's an emergency. People do it all, and I'm not saying set up a trust fund for the boy or anything like that, but when it's time for you to go, you don't want him to be able to utilize whatever for maybe his kids, or set something aside for, like, you're selfish. You have to, like, I could see if it was only you, but now you done messed up and told me that you have a son, and you're selfish.
But Nailah, my son's 26.
Okay.
If you know what I did for a living, you know, then you would understand why I say you can't take it with you. My son is already. Oh, I don't want to talk about this like that, but my son's good.
I'm sure he is, but you can never be too secure. Yeah, you're selfish. And it's not necessarily, that's just an example. It's not necessarily about your kid, in general, but you should still save for something, right? Like, you should still, okay, when you leave, do you have a will that you're giving whoever, or what, like nieces, nephews, it doesn't matter. Like,
it all goes to him.
It all goes to him, but wouldn't that be, but you don't know what his kids are gonna grow up to be.
That's on him.
It might not be set.
That's on him.
You still should think about it. And yeah, that's on him, but like, if you had the ability to put somebody in a better position, why wouldn't you?
Now, you know, we talk about generational wealth all the time.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Generational wealth. Why would you not set up rich people do it all the time? And that's why they have old money. You ever heard that? Old money and new money? The people come from old money. They set up that generational wealth. Their people will forever be set. Have you ever watched Grey's Anatomy?
How old the money is? It's the same money as you get in a day. So you can say old or new. Look,
well, no, the definition is.
Wait a minute. I got an old 100 in my pocket right now, and I got
not literally. Not literally.
Not literally.
But that's that money that's passed on from generation to generation to generation. Think about the Rockefellers.
Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah, that money came from way back when, and it's still going strong.
Bill Gates, even though they say like, oh, he's only giving his kids so much, like regardless, like his family will always be set. Like it doesn't matter. Like you set that up for generations to come because one, the cost of living. I just saw a post on Facebook yesterday. And it was talking about how much it costs to like buy movie tickets and buy a house and go to college. 100 years ago, like in like maybe like the early 1900s, and how much it costs today. Inflation has gone way up. It was $436 a year to attend Harvard. In the 30s. $436 a year. Do you know my car note is $400? My car note is $400. It cost, when I was going to Iowa Wesleyan, it cost $41,000 a year, and that was in 2016. And even 5 years from that, it has increased significantly. So by the time that it's time for your grandchild to go to college, it will be very much near $80,000, $100,000.
Let them take over the family.
But that's not what everybody wants to do. You can't carve out somebody's life for them like that. But what you can do is set them up. I talked to my grandma. So we have a family house in my family. My great grandmother house. They came from Mississippi when my grandma was 3. My grandma is in her 60s now. So that house has been in our family for a very long time. I think she said they moved there when she was 11. And I told my grandma she shouldn't sell that house. One, because like my whole family basically, like there's hundreds of like, there's like 5-6 generations from that, like my great grandparents' birth, right? And so if anything were to ever happen, because my grandma owns that house, if anything were to ever happen and somebody needs a place to go or life happens, right? Because you can't just think about how you are. Everybody's life is different. Life happens. Things happen. The pandemic happened. A lot of people didn't think they were going to be out of a job. They thought they were set. Life happens, right? You have some place to go. And it's the same idea with money and generational wealth. If something happens, have you ever watched Grey's Anatomy? Okay, you know Dr. Addison Forbes Montgomery. She was married to whatever his name is. I don't know. I watch a different show that she's in, and it's like a spinoff. So I don't know too much about Grey's Anatomy, but her dad, her family's rich. They always talked about like, yeah, she was a neonatal surgeon, but she was a Forbes Montgomery. She had a $30 million trust fund. She made her own money, but like if anything ever happened, if she ever had kids, which I don't think she could, but like her brother, their family, and anybody to come underneath them, and years and years and years and years and years down the line, they had an estate and everything. Those people are set. And the idea is that the cost of living goes up every year, but your money will also go up with it. So life is going to get harder for the generations to come. I feel bad for my brothers. Life is going to be harder. It's just going to be because it costs more and you need more now. You can't just go out of high school and get a good job and then you work at that job for 40 years and you retire. You can get a really good job and retire and buy a house and like, you're going to struggle if you don't do something else. You're going to struggle. Not that you can't make it, but it's going to be way harder. So why not set them up? Even if they don't use it, Even if they don't use it, why not create that? And that's kind of the ideal, like with the diet. And I like how Gina said, like, it's like a financial diet, because me and Sage decided that we wanted to get back healthy. So we decided to do keto. It's very strict. It's very, very strict. You feel deprived of a lot of things. You can't have bread because you can't have gluten, and you can't have sweets because it's very low carb, and it's very, very strict. Like, I feel like I'm eating greens and vegetables, like greens and meat, like, and pretty much that's what it is. So like I felt deprived because I'm like, I can't have no sweets. I have a huge sweet tooth. I can't drink juice. I have to drink a whole bunch of water. But how you said you have to go out. Well, I found alternatives. Okay, I can't use regular flour, so I can't bake. Okay, I use almond flour or coconut flour because it's not gluten. Okay, so I'm not supposed to have fruit, but I can do other things to help me out. I can't have certain things, but if that's what I want to do, you have to grit and bear through some try it. You think the people who start businesses and the richest people in the world didn't go through something? You have to give it up. If you want to save for your business and you want to create your own and you want to save money because you want to start your own business, then you don't need to go outside. Sorry. It sucks. Read a book. Study. You got to be committed to it. It's not going to happen if you don't put in the work. You think I'm just going to magically lose weight? You think I'm magically going to have a six-pack or something like that? Like, no, you got to put in the work. And it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears and hard. You're going to have days where you want to quit and you be like, no, I just want to spend something. Do it. Just be committed to it. Put yourself.
And I think that's where the financial advisor comes in, Nailah, like yourself, because just like when I got on the health kick, I went and got me a personal trainer because I knew that they would push me to a point where I wouldn't push myself. And so even when it comes to finances, sometimes you need the financial trainer to push you so that you can get to the point where you want to be. A lot of times people say, well, why would I get a financial planner? I have to pay them. It's going to cost me money. So that's money going out that I could just use that money for something else. But it has to be that discipline there. You're not just going to be able to a lot of people don't have that discipline. They don't have that discipline where they can cut a lot of things out. They don't have the discipline where they can identify where this spending is going, where it's too much. And that's where it comes in at. It's no different from when I had that personal trainer. Then you have that personal finance advisor.
To hold you accountable and to make the difficult decisions for you and to tell you no. I have a friend, she's a business owner, and we were talking yesterday, and she's going to be one of my new clients, and I'm going to be her financial representative and do her financial planning with her. And I was like, look, I'm not going to give in to what you want. Like, we're going to come up with a plan. Once you agree to the plan, that's it. And and if you need a little kick to remind you, that's cool, but we're not going to deviate from the plan because you need that discipline. And a lot of people don't have that discipline for themselves. That's why you need another person. And if you do have the discipline, a lot of times you might have the discipline, but you might be lacking something else, like the educational part. Like, I have the discipline to save this money, but how do I make it grow? Or I have, like, you just kind of have to let go of some of your insecurities or some of your wants and desires in order for you to get to where you need to go. Yeah. I understand, Greg, you are an exception, right? You might be in like the top 10%.
He's exceptional.
Yeah. Like, your lifestyle is a little bit different, but like, I'm kind of like you in a way, right? I told you my fiance, my wife, she manages our finances. I'm not the right type of person for you to go shopping with or ask necessarily, if as a friend, like to ask you advice. Like, do you think I should get this, or do you think, which one should I get? I'm gonna tell you to get both. If you want them, get both of them. But as personally, I can't afford both. Why would you listen to me? I don't know. I'm just telling you, like, get both. And I'm one of those people, like, if I want it, I'm gonna buy it. But at the same time, I know that if I could use that money for something else and I can get it at a later time, or I could save it, then I'm gonna do that. Like, she wanted to give me she wanted to buy me a MacBook, because my old computer kind of is like going out as a
And you should
graduation present.
have took it.
No, because first of all, we share money, so like it's a present, but like still gonna be out there. It's like $1,500. I'm like,
This
why
what I'm
would
on
you?
now.
I'm like, she was like, well, I can do the payment plan, where they. I'm like, no, 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 no. If you're gonna get it, you just buy it. I'd rather have it bought outright so that money's gone. But I'm like, well, we're moving. Like the house I told you my grandma's did. Well, eventually in the next, like, it might be 8 months from now, but we're still moving. So once our bills decrease, then you buy it. It's not a necessity right now. It's one. I have two laptops, so if I really need a laptop, and now I have a work laptop, so if I really need a laptop, I got it. And two, I'm not going back to school right now, so there's nothing super pressing to where I need to be on a laptop of that capacity that has all of that. So like, yes, I want it. I'm a tech person. I really I really like iPads and stuff like that. Um, but I know they cost a lot of money. So I have to have that discipline. Like, yes, I really want them. Like, and I have been talking about it and talking about it. But I also know that $1,500 could be saved and utilized towards saving for what we are trying to do, which is pay that car off that I told you by the end of the year. You see what I'm saying? I have goals. So although I want something, I want this, I can't have it right now. I want it really bad, but I really, really want to pay this car off more. And so I have to choose my priorities, because
The wants and needs.
paying paying off this car will free up way more money in the long run. I ain't gotta pay interest. I don't have to have no car note. I will have $1,500 in no time by the time I pay off my car, and my car insurance will go down. You have to. I have to, my wants and my needs. If I pay this off, I have no problem buying a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro later on. But this needs to be paid off because I'll pay way more money in the long run if I keep this car note going on, right? And if something happens, pandemic or whatever, I have to be worried about, or like at the time I was going through something where I wasn't able to work, right? And my biggest asset is my ability to make money, and I wasn't able to make money. I gotta worry about somebody coming and trying to take my car, which gets me from point A to point B. I don't have to worry about it because it's paid off. So it's priorities. What is that laptop gonna do for me if something happens? What is that gonna do for me? My car gets me everywhere.
So are you happy?
I'm happy. I'm happy because I know that there are things that I want right now. There's a lot of things that I want. There's a lot of things that I like to buy. There's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, we can get this or we can get that. But it's also more joy in knowing that I'm on a path to being debt free. When you debt free, okay, you have a lot of extra money, right? If you want to save for a house, or because you're spending a lot of money in rent, which is a position that I'm in right now, I'm like, dang, $2,000 a month in rent, like that's ridiculous. That's a mortgage. Why would I do that? Why would I continue to put myself through that? And I'm paying these people. I've only been here since 2019. By the time this lease is up, I would have paid them $50,000. That's like, for some people, that's like 30% of a down payment for a house. Like, why would I continue to do that? So I'm happy and I'm content in knowing that my plan, I'm disciplined enough to where I can sacrifice for a little bit to get what I want for a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everybody say, hey, Maurice, Bishop.
Hey, and I want
Hey,
to add to
how you
that.
doing?
You know what I want to say about that? As we went through that pandemic,
Get it,
I
Gina.
thought about some things that could help me coming out of it. For instance, I drove to Schaumburg every day. I spent probably $100 a week in
A week.
gas,
I know.
a
I used to do
week,
it. Hmm.
and $50 every 2 weeks on tolls.
Me
And
too.
then so when the pandemic came and I started working from home, I took that gas money and tolls that I was paying and I put it aside because it was money I was spending anyway. I've been driving out there for 16 years. And for 16 years, I was paying that expense. And so put it aside because I wasn't missing it when I was driving out to Schaumburg. So I shouldn't miss it now. So
So
those are
can we?
some of the things that sometimes a financial advisor can help you realize, look, you can cut the fat here. Well, now that
Mhm.
this isn't happening, you can put that money aside, or take this credit card and double up, and then when that's paid off, take the next one and triple up. Little things like that.
See,
And
Gina,
So,
they start off small, but they end up being big.
that's
but
why I
can we do
like.
a little math right there, really quick? You paid $100 a week in gas. That's on a most months are 4 weeks. That's
Yep.
$400 to $500 every month that you were paying for 16 years, plus
Mhm.
$50 in tolls every 2 weeks. So
That's really another
in
100
a
a
month,
month.
that's another 100 a month. So you're
Mhm.
easily paying $600 to $700 a month just to get to work,
Mhm.
just to get to work. And you
Yep.
did that for 16 years. So let's do the high end of it. $700 a month
She got that
times
calculator
12,
over
right? That's
Yep.
$8,400 a year times 16. You have paid $134,400 in the past 16 years in gas and tolls
Yep.
to go to Schaumburg.
Yep.
Gas and tolls. I can tell you right now, my job was in Schaumburg when and I was working there around the time that I had lost the car. If you know how much money I would have saved, right? I was paying the same amount that she was. I was driving from all the way further south than Joliet, further south and further west, and I was literally paying $100 a week in gas, and I was paying like $100 a month in tolls. I was paying that $500. So I worked that whole year. I paid that $8,400. My
Wait,
car would have been like halfway paid off.
you still ain't added the equation of that, the car payment, the insurance, and the other stuff. So,
And car
Exactly, the
repairs.
and repair,
wear and
tires.
tear,
Mhm.
oil change, tires, like what windshield wiper fluid. Even though that's not that much money, but
That's why I
still,
thought about trading mine in for an electric car.
Y'all better
you don't
get
want
y'all a
those
TV
problems.
show. Y'all
That's
need
even more high maintenance.
y'all need to get
No, it's not high maintenance. Very low maintenance.
y'all
Ultra
need to
low.
get y'all a TV show. That's what y'all need to do. And then maybe you because I'm like, wow.
I'm
Right.
just saying that's a lot of money
You
that
don't
you
know how
spent.
happy I was to be working from home and to know that I don't have to go back. That's,
So
man,
the next 16 years, I don't know when Gina plans on retiring,
not
but just
16
know,
years, baby.
we just know in 16 years, just from that money that you save alone, you will have an extra $134,000 in your pocket.
Right.
Okay, but wait a minute. Hold up. Gina, you said not 16 years, but Gina,
Hmm.
you're writing books now, and your
Hmm.
books are gonna start selling, okay? You
Hmm.
still gonna work the regular job?
Well, remember, I told everyone that I have a 10-year plan, and I'm 7 years into my 10-year plan.
So
So, like Nailah said, I've done a vision board. I did my 10-year plan 10 years ago, and nothing's perfect. I veered off of it, but where it rerouted me, I'm still on track to hit my 10-year plan. So that's something that I set out for myself. Is something that, and the thing is exactly what she said. you have to know where you want to go. You have to have those goals. So 10 years ago, I knew that I wanted to retire, be debt free, pay off all my bills. You know, you can't pay off your monthly bills. Those are there. But that's my plan, and I'm on track for that. And so planning is what you have to do. And a lot of times people feel like, well, I'm older, it's too late. It's never too late. Younger people don't think about it because they're young. And so they need to start thinking about it now. But it all depends on where you want to go. Like she said, your roadmap.
Yeah. Okay. And I think I don't even want to talk about it like that, but I've been in a different position. Okay, Jenny, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Different position. So a lot of the stuff, and I will never talk about what I don't know. All right. So I can only go by my position. I haven't had to deal with a lot of what you guys deal with, because except for the beginning of my career, Nailah, just so you know, I mean, I was homeless. Didn't have to be, but I did. I worked at a company. I took the money and thought I could start this entertainment business. All right. That money went just like that, and I was asked out. All right. So, I feel a lot what you're saying. One thing that I'm really loving about you is that, yes, this is the first hour we were on. You were strictly, the financial advisor. You were just all up in with the suit and tie and all of that. Okay, but the second half of this show, you've been coming like with the real. I mean, with the real. It's like, okay, yeah, this is what I do for a living, but let me tell y'all some real facts, okay? And I appreciate both sides. I do, okay, because when you started doing the real, that made me take a look at myself. All right, I spend my biggest thing that I spend a lot of money on is what, Gina?
Shoes.
Jordans.
Got a gang of them. Okay?
You got a stock in the spot.
But you know what? My son has a boatload of them too. But it's an investment for him. He buys them
and resells them.
He resells them for 3 times what he paid for them. So it's not always a bad thing that you spending $200 and some on
Right.
Jordans. It's what you do with it.
I spend the money and just look at them though. Sometimes I just look at the wall.
I can't do it. Now,
he has a pair right now that has.
I have a car.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Maurice.
No, I just have a car fetish. Mine is the other way
I do
around.
too. I do too.
I got to have me a nice whipper.
I had to
2 or
get rid
3
of
of
some
them.
of mine because I had too many. It was just like, you can't be a glutton. You can't be a glutton.
You
Yeah.
can't have enough of them mugs.
No.
I have had as many as 5 cars since I've been here.
6 for me.
I was going to say Gina has 6. Okay.
6 for me. But you know what? It was. I came to the decision that it was too much, and
insurance was killing me.
I knew people, family members who didn't even have a vehicle. And here I am sitting here with all of these here. So Robert and I made a decision to get rid of the Commander. I had a 84 Mercury Cougar that had 1,700 miles on it.
What?
I shipped that out to my daughter in Vegas.
You should have called me on that one.
Yeah, I know, but she was out there. She's far. That's my baby.
Oh, okay.
And she needed a vehicle, and I'm like I got all these cars here. So, Robert and I decided, we're going to send her this one. We gave another family member the Jeep Commander.
Well, you should just walk, Gina, and give me the Lexus.
Whoa.
Nah, nobody's getting that one. Not until my body cold. I did have to keep some, Now, me and Robert had to have transportation. I was driving out to Schaumburg now.
And you might as well do it in comfort, right?
Yeah.
I had a black BMW that was a 5-speed. When I had my rotator cuff surgery, I couldn't do the stick shift anymore. So there was this guy who was a mechanic. I gave it to him. I let him have it, and he proceeded to. Every time I saw it, it looked a little bit worse and worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah.
Dude. But that's being financially fiscal. Go ahead, Maurice.
I've given away probably about 6 cars. Just over since my niece and my mother and all that, we was trying to get everybody from GI up here, and my niece had at least 2 of them, It was like a Lumina, like old like 98 Lumina I got her, then a Sebring, and then I bought her a Mazda 3. And then I told her, I said, this is not no place for you. This is not a permanent spot for you. This is a jump off spot. And you trade this mug in. She put 280,000 miles on that car.
Woo.
Yeah.
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 I'm
And
not
then
getting
somebody hit it.
one.
Insurance company gave her a little change. She went and got her 2020.
I ain't giving away nothing no more, man. It's like if you don't have a car, you can have a pair of gym shoes, my old pair, and walk anywhere.
Say that L dogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But and Nyla, we do this. We sometimes we get off subject a little bit. And we joke and
No,
laugh.
You gotta
you're
have fun.
But the main thing today, and yesterday, and so appreciate you coming on today because people need to understand that we, and especially us as African Americans, Black people, we need to make sure that we empower ourselves financially. All right, because it's not going to it's not going to be given to us if we don't make it ourselves.
Yes.
And
It bugs me to see people spend so much money on a car and they're living with their parents,
They don't have
or
nowhere to go
First
home
thing,
to.
first,
it's like you're investing in the wrong thing.
well, first thing my daddy told me was, don't go buy no brand new car and you ain't got no house.
Well,
There
see,
you
it
go.
depends. It
Yeah.
depends because I'll tell you this. So the car that I have, I was
But thi-
18 when I got it. It
Mhm,
was brand new. It was 2017. I bought it in 2017. I
mhm.
didn't have any credit, but I needed a car to get from point A to point B, and I didn't have it. I didn't have any money because I couldn't work because I came home from college. It was in the summertime,
Right.
and my parents live out in the suburbs. There's no
Mhm.
transportation, and when I say the suburbs, I don't mean like Bolingbrook. I don't mean suburbs that have public transportation.
All
There
right.
is no public. If you don't have a car, you're not going anywhere.
There's
And
no
so,
mobility.
yeah, there's no mobility. There's nowhere for you to go,
Mhm.
unless you want to work at McDonald's or something. And I don't bash anybody or look down on anybody who does that, but that's
Yeah.
not me. That's not me. Um, and so I had to get that car. My godmom put up she put out the down payment for me to get that because she had someone who worked at Hyundai at the car dealership to help me get a vehicle, but I had to make that sacrifice. Or otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten I didn't even want a brand new car. I just needed to get from point A to point B, but I had to make that sacrifice. And I'm living at home and I'm paying this, but I needed it in order for me to get a job so I could pay for anything. So it
Uh,
just depends on the situation and your mindset. But I do agree, don't go get yourself into something that you're not prepared for in
well,
general.
I explained it to my son in the same thing way my daddy explained it to me. Don't go buy no brand new damn car if you don't have a house to live in. No, don't go buy a brand new Camaro and you haven't bought your house yet. You can get a used Camaro. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't go buy brand new nothing if you ain't got no house. That investment, that right there looks so good when you're young and you got that going on. It ain't even funny. I was blessed to have a lot of things very young. I was really blessed to have those things young. In my younger years when I was living in Texas, it got shipped around the world to do things, manage companies and open up businesses for folks and stuff. I made a lot of people a lot of money. A lot of money. It's my turn now.
Absolutely. So, Nyla, did you want to say something?
I did. I wanted to kind of touch on that. I think it has a lot to do, and you mentioned the Black community. I wasn't gonna mention it, but since you brought it up, I'll mention it. Didn't
You
want to
have
mention
to.
it
This
because I didn't
dope
want to
living.
step on. I didn't want to step on any toes. So I don't know who's watching, so I didn't want to, go
We don't
specific.
care.
They
Um,
know.
but I think that has to do a lot with the mentality, right? Because on average, and I'm sure all of you are exceptional parents, so this may or may not be geared towards you in any way, shape, or form. So please don't feel offended about what I'm going to say. A lot of the mentality is for a lot of families in both the Black and Hispanic community is that when you turn 18, you about to get out my house. And
Uh-uh.
a lot of the
Mm.
mentality is also, I struggled and I worked for it, so why shouldn't you? When it's instead, like, even though we preach, you supposed to want better for your child, we don't always do. And
Right.
so the idea of having a brand new house before you have a car, um a lot of like a lot of people who are maybe able to get a brand new car without having a brand new house also might have the ability to stay home longer to get on their feet. In our community, I don't know why, especially with like mothers and their daughters more specifically, they'd like to like kick their kids out when they turn 18 and like, okay, like you're 18, I did my job, like cool,
I'm
go.
I'm with you. I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I always tell 'em parenting is a lifetime thing.
It's a lifetime thing. It's something that you're committed to. I
I
even
mean, okay, they grown, but you just don't.
Mhm.
You wouldn't just kick them out there and let them fall on their face that hard. I mean,
They don't have
that's
any
not
experience. They have
well.
no, when you're 18, you don't have
Well,
any, you don't have
well, not to
experience, you don't have the
mention,
knowledge.
not to mention. I mean, I wouldn't want none of my babies to fail like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got
And I
enough
think
of
that's
that
how
shit.
we get I think that's how we get into that cycle of not having the financial literacy and not being able to uplift our community, because a lot of people have that mindset of either I'm going to kick you out when you're 18, or I struggle so you have to struggle too, instead of like, why not let your kids stay there till they get on their feet? I'm not saying let them stay there till they 30. Like,
Well,
by all
all
means.
mine were gone at 18, but I did continue to help them when they
Sure.
needed help.
Yeah,
But
but
they
see, you
all three
helped
were
them.
gone at 18.
Yeah.
See, I don't mean like going away to college or anything like
No.
that. I mean like you get kicked out and you got to figure it out yourself with no resources. So I'm
Zero.
not
No
saying
knowledge either. Just
no
no
knowledge,
resources on.
no resources. Like, you have no job experience, so you can't get hired. All you have is a high school diploma. You weren't set up to go to college. Nobody's gonna help you, and now I'm just gonna make you get out and figure it out on your own and struggle trying to find minimum wage. And so that's what I'm talking about. The resource aspect of it, of our community, is very much of a disservice to us, and a lot of it is not having that financial literacy. And that's why you see white communities, their kids, they don't have
Yep.
those same problems that we have. They're more exposed to more things. A lot of them are, they have way more resources, but they're not. I mean, I've even seen it. I grew up in when we moved from Chicago, I moved to a predominantly white community. I went to a predominantly white school. There was really nobody who looked like me, and at the time that we moved there was nobody who looked like me. So
Well,
I was very
actually,
much ostracized.
that's a microcosm of the world you're going to go into when you get out of college, and that basically just said, hey, this is what it's going to look like in the real world. When you go out there in that
Right.
business world, you're going to be the only minority, only female minority, and that's like a double triple thing. So that actually set you up for what's really going to happen. You're going to
Yeah,
be
I
in the
mean that
minority.
I don't look at it as a negative by any means.
No, it's not a negative.
I got definitely a way better education than I would have gotten if I went to CPS. But in general, like generally speaking, I saw like when they did start to integrate, you could say, I saw
That's
a lot of like my friends or people who did, like the ones who did look like me, they went through like I literally saw like I compared to how the white kids were set up, these black kids are not set up for success. And that's
Mm-mm.
just the mind. You can you
That's
take
the
them out the
truth.
hood, but you ain't taking the hood out of them. They're not set up. Like, okay, you moved from the hood, cool, but you're still not giving them the resources. Like, because you're still telling them when get on, figure it out yourself.
That
At
right
least
there
you got
is
to educate
Well,
at
you know what?
home.
You do. Oh, go ahead with your core commercial.
that's the core comment of the day. You know why?
ah, ah.
Core is the perfect. You ought to put that water down. Core is the perfectly balanced pH purified water.
It ain't blue. It got the core on it. Well, she
How come,
bold too.
how come these financial
Generation.
people, that have been on the show the past 2 days, man,
Yeah, jumping on there, spring
dude,
water, all
pouring
kind of water.
up and
So
that
this
look
is not regular water. It's
yeah,
Coke
Exactly.
Bell. I gotta get my electrolytes in.
we don't say any name. As far as I'm concerned, that's that iron water. That's the water in the iron to make sure the steam.
Detroit water.
I don't care.
Detroit water.
Oh my gosh. I can't. If it makes you feel better, I do have a water cooler in my house. So it's not tap water. If
And
it
is
makes you feel better.
Is it no? It doesn't. Okay, because that's not core water, and you should take the label off. Thank you. Right
Core
now,
water is good.
hear yourself. Go ahead, get out of here.
Core water is good. And Gina, I did want to mention something. You had asked me about like saving, and I just thought about it because I used to, when I worked in the mortgage industry, I used to deal with people who defaulted on their loans. And I have to go through their entire finances. I was intrusive. That's why I know the difference about what I do now versus what I did. I was very intrusive, which you would never think. Like, you're the mortgage company. Why in the world are you asking me about all of my bills? I mean, we got down to the nitty gritty. What do you do? How often do you get paid? How much is your car insurance? How much is your health insurance? Do you have a 401k? All of that. And like, we start getting down to some bills, and I'm like, you paying
Detroit,
this
Detroit
amount
water.
for Netflix? Okay, you don't need Netflix. You paying for a gym membership? Work out at home. You like things that we don't necessarily.
Whoa.
Oh, you can work out. YouTube is a beautiful thing, right? You can work out at home. Why not? I mean, so we're getting down to like our priorities, and I just wanted to mention that because I didn't mention it, and that's definitely something that a lot of people don't think about. Like, you pay for Netflix, okay? Do you also have cable? Do you also have Hulu? And do you also have Amazon Prime? Pick one.
Wow.
Pick one.
I got all of those.
Yeah, I do too. But if you're struggling and you like, I need to save money, and you
I got
need
you.
to
I got you. I'm
priorities,
just saying.
I got all of them too. But I'm just saying, I was thinking about it. Like,
But again, it depends on what place you're in, where
Yeah.
you are and where you're trying to go.
But here's the thing, okay? Yes, you wanna save money, you want to do this and that, okay? But sometimes you get to this point in your mind where, man, I'm down. I want to be happy. I want to do something. So Showtime and HBO and Hulu.
That's really gonna make you
all
happy?
that, man,
That's
I'm
not
watching.
gonna
I
make
was
me
thinking,
happy.
Gina.
And then-
Like, what?
I don't
and
watch
then-
TV like that. That's
and then
not
you
gonna
got
make me
and
happy.
then you got the platinum porn channels, okay? So
But-
all that stuff right there,
Oh.
man, it makes you.
Do you know
But you know-
that social media is such a thing today? I watch most TV shows on my phone. And when I say that, I mean, I can go on Facebook and I can look at a video. And then when I scroll down to the video, another TV show, like I watch Basketball Wives. I watch Basketball Wives on my phone through Facebook for free.
That's what you should want.
So, I mean, I seen it. Like, now it got me hooked because I done seen enough videos. I'm like, oh yeah, let me keep looking for videos. I don't watch Dance Moms so many videos on Facebook for free. I'm like, oh, this is a good show. I don't even need to watch the whole thing. I watch these little bitty clips of it and I'm cool. You pick one. If that's something that you need to do, priorities, pick one. You need this gym membership? Okay. Do you really use a gym membership? Okay, well, you can work out from home. You'll be all right. You will be okay. You can work out from home. You can do it.
Point there because I'm paying for a gym membership
That you
I
don't
mean,
use.
I haven't
Yeah,
gone
nah.
in a year.
Not
I'm
me.
not gonna lie, I
Yeah,
haven't
no.
gone in a year.
No,
But-
no.
Not me.
but
I have all my equipment in the
it's
basement.
comfortable.
But you know what? It's
But it's comfortable to know that you got it. That you
I
can
don't
go
want to be
in.
around
No,
all
but
them
you
people.
paying me either. But what are you paying for something, a service that you're never going to use?
Because I'm
You
comfortable.
know you're not
I'm
really
not
serious
comfortable. I'm
about it.
comfortable in my own home.
You're not really
I'm not
serious
comfortable.
about it.
I've never had a
I-
gym membership.
I'm going to
ever.
tell you,
Have you seen this body,
the
Nailah?
beginning of last year, we opened up a gym membership, and soon as we opened it up, pandemic locked everything down, and
Me too.
we've been paying this membership. I mean, from day
Mm.
one for a whole year, and I have not been. My wife hasn't been
Yeah.
either.
So I did the same thing. Like, literally at the beginning of last year, we had got a gym membership at Planet Fitness.
Exactly. That's what I had.
When I tell you, as soon as the pandemic hit, I called those people. I was like, I need you to cancel my gym membership
No,
because I can't use it. I can't use it. I called them because I mean, I don't know about other gym memberships. So I know most of them are monthly, but some of them might not be. So I don't know if you're locked in or anything. But when I tell you, I called those people so fast. I said, I'm not paying. I can't go.
You'd
I'm
be
not
surprised what
doing
shows up on your credit because of that.
But you know what?
it. It doesn't because it's not. I'm not. I don't have a contract.
One of the things that people have to realize that individually, there is some place within your spending that you can eliminate some things. Now, there may be certain things that you want to keep in your life. Like I like to travel, so I'm not going to cut that out. But there's other things that, I've been very disciplined simply because I don't like to shop and I don't like to spend money. So it's not hard for me to cut back on spending. And so my finances was something that I've looked at. My mom was very big on financing. It wasn't something I learned in school, but my mom was a very good business person and she taught that to us. She taught us about real estate. She taught us about, purchasing things that have value. So if you do come down on your luck, you can go pawn it. So those were some of the things she taught us growing up, and that just stayed with me through adulthood. But I'm pretty sure there's probably some areas where I can cut the fat and I can say I don't need this, or I can cut back on this. And again, it's depending on where you want to go in your plan. So I think everyone can look at their finances and say, hey, I really don't have to do this. I'm not one to go out and spend $200 or $300 on a purse.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do that. Or some shoes. I'm not going to do that.
But even if like you're a person who likes to travel, right? So if you're like, I want to take this trip next year, but the way this budget looking right now, this trip not looking so promising, but I really want to take it.
Take the trip.
Take the trip, but you're gonna have to figure out where you're gonna pull that money from. So you're.
You know what? I know that I passed it on to my kids.
I like to travel. I love
because my son has this big water bottle, stands about like this, and he puts all of his dollar bills in it, and he uses that money to travel. When he and his family go on a family vacation, he takes that money out of that water bottle, and that's what he uses for his trip.
You want to know what's funny? So me and Sage, we went and we bought. We didn't go anywhere because I hate shopping. So Amazon is where I went. And I ordered one of those, like those cash boxes, like when you see people at the concession stands and they have like the little cash box with the bill slots. I went and bought one of those, and when we don't carry cash, but when we do get like some cash or whatever, like if somebody gives money for our birthday and stuff, we go and we save that. And we go put it in a thing, and we don't. I just remember. I forgot about it until you just said something about the water bottle. Forget that we have it. We go put it under in the closet where you never gonna see it, under all the clothes and stuff, and in the back in the corner where it's never gonna be visible. So that we don't think about it. So there's money in there. I'm sure there's a ton of money in there that's like either for a rainy day or something happens when I'm traveling and my credit card or one of my cards doesn't work or whatever, because things like that happen. So there are ways that you can spend. Like I'm sure there's extra money people get from whether somebody gives you money for your birthday or you find money on the floor, or I have some dollars downstairs that need to go in the thing because I accidentally washed them because we had played a game at my graduation party, and I won the bingo game, and so I won the pot of money, and I accidentally washed them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. So there's ways, like if traveling is a priority to you because something that you really like to do and you don't want to give it up, and you're like, but this year I'm tight on cash or whatever, you just got to look at it. That Dunkin' Donuts, like we were talking about, that Dunkin' Donuts adds up really fast. You know what I mean? It does add up fast. So there are ways to save, and there are utilizing resources that are available to you is important. And if you don't have time, or if you don't know how to start, or if you don't know what to do, then there are people like myself who do it for a living, who all you have to do, who will hold you accountable, because you're not getting your money back. Not necessarily that you're paying me, because I don't get paid that way, but not necessarily that you paying your money to me and you're like, why would I pay for a person? Because not all of it works the same way. But once you give me your money to manage for you, you giving your money away for somebody else to manage. That person is holding you accountable. Now you've made a commitment that more than likely you're going to stick to, because you know that you can't get that money back. You can't just go to the bank or go to your savings account. I was notorious for this when I was younger. Transfer. If
Let
I
me
didn't
ask you a
have money in
question.
my check, yeah, yes.
Are you familiar with Dave Ramsey?
I am not. I'm sorry.
Dave Ramsey is a financial planner, well, a financial advisor like yourself. He has plenty of books and stuff. If you just take a peek, I mean, a lot of people actually do like I won't say mirroring, but kind of mapping, use the same mapping to help people out. Just check him out, DaveRamsey.com.
So Nailah, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on the show. All right,
You're welcome.
this has been one of our more lively shows. Seriously, it's been a great show. You've helped
Informative.
very informative, and I hope that a lot of people who did watch, and there's going to be residual watching too. So a lot of people watch now, and then people watch after we're off. Okay, this is on YouTube and Twitter as well. I hope that people got because it felt like the whole second hour was pointing at me, but
Hey, if the shoe fits, lace it up.
Whoa!
Mr. Jordan.
Wow!
I'm just saying, if you felt some type of way about it, that's because
Hey,
you
come on,
are
it's just bold. Come on
internalizing
here, different
it.
kind of water and everything. Just talking trash. What's up with that?
Well, I know
You know how
before
brothers are.
I'm
You
gonna
done
get off
made me.
subject for a minute,
You
and
done made
and
me have to
and
change my pitch on my voice. What you
we
thought? Oh
definitely want
no, you didn't do that.
Nyla to give her contact information. But
I was
before
going to get to that.
we get to that, I don't know, Greg, if you remember that she was part of the Distinguished Authors Guild.
No, I don't remember that.
She did
I
the
was a
spoken word.
I was so busy putting it together that I didn't have time to watch any of it. Okay, because it was such a workhorse. I didn't have time to do that. But okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's also in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So she does more than financial.
It's in my playground
I
now.
always tell you, everybody we have on here have different streams of income and different things that they're doing. They're usually not just doing one thing.
Right. Now I like
Greg.
no what I do. See, when I buy the shoes, I gotta buy a whole outfit too. I buy the hat.
Okay, well, I am a hat fanatic. I have over 50 hats that I have.
Oh, we can
So
talk.
I do like hats.
We tell Sage to pause for a moment. We can talk. All right. Most
But
definitely.
I don't buy them often because I have priorities.
Oh, Lord have mercy, Lord.
But I am one of those people, when I have it and like she's like, oh, I don't know if I should get them, like, buy it, like, if you want. See, I am one of those people who are like you. But when it's necessary for me to be strict about something, I can be. And that's a lot of people lack that, and that's why they need a financial advisor.
When it's time to be disciplined, like anything, you can do it.
And you're absolutely right. And I think the biggest thing that we need to get out of today, one of the biggest things that we can take from today is that we need to make sure that we have something that, number one, to make ourselves financially healthy, but number two, as you said, and Gina said, and Marie said, we have to make sure that once we're gone, those that we care about are financially healthy as well. We need to create that generational wealth. Nailah, I appreciate. Look, again, tell people how they can get at you.
Yeah. So, do you want me to type it? Or you want me to just say
it? I should have typed it at the beginning, and I didn't. But tell me what it is, and I'm gonna type it in there right now. We'll stay on a couple of more minutes so people can get it. How can they reach you?
So, my professional email is my first last name.
Okay, well, you know what? All right.
It's right here. It's on the screen.
I'm like, you see it right there.
You see it.
NAILAH.
.FISHER.
FISHER.
At NM.com. So NM, like Northwestern Mutual.
Okay. And that's how people can reach you. That's the main thing people can reach you.
They can reach me, or I can provide my office number. They can always reach me at my office number as well.
Yeah, we should have had that going right off the bat. So I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. I apologize.
Well, you put it back on here for
mentioning
replay.
it.
Yeah, it'll be on there.
Yeah. I'll leave it up there. Matter of fact, when we come on tomorrow, I'll even have it running. I won't even take it off.
Music Fridays.
Well, this is something that
Yeah,
Nailah may want to come on weekly and talk about. This is her passion.
talk to
This
Gina about
business
that.
is her passion.
I love finances. I love talking to people about their goals. I love money. I told you that's why I got into that. I love money. I think money makes the world go round. And though it may not make you happy, it is something that you need to have your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, your basic needs met. Food, security, shelter, all of that. You need money to do that, and so you need to know how to manage money and how to utilize what is in this world to your advantage, so that you can be happy and live the best life possible. So if you'll have me, if you want me to come on weekly from 7 to 9, I'll make time for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because I think I'm gonna have to get. I think you punished me because I was a little late today, but you know.
That wasn't me, okay? I just wanted to make sure I was in the right spot. All right, that Gina gonna have to take the L for that one. She gonna have to
Oh,
okay.
you just jumped on everybody.
Maurice,
Nailah, I thought you were my friend, Nailah.
I
Maurice,
am your friend, but
put
I
it in
can't
reverse.
go down. This is about Bonnie and Clyde.
Maurice, she came on here, man. She was look, A to Z. She was financial advisor A to Z. That first album, man, I was a little A
All
to Z. That second hour was like, Greg, you trash. Greg, you
I never called you trash.
Hey, sit down, shut up, listen.
Listen, I want to give you my office number. So if somebody wants to call me, you guys have it available.
Hold on, what is it?
It's 630.
That's another area code. Go ahead.
368 3174.
Okay, I don't even know if this is gonna come up, but we're gonna see if it happens. It didn't work.
Oh,
there it is.
But yeah, that's how they can reach me. My business number and my business email. I'm always open to new clients and speaking with people of all demographics. I don't care if they're young. I don't care if they're older. I don't care what background they come from. If they're ready to plan and they're serious about it, I'm open to it.
Yes, everybody get that financial diet going.
That's what I'm gonna call it.
Diet.
I'm just waiting.
Financial plan. We're going on a financial diet. That's what we're gonna do. I like that better.
She going on that Nigerian financial diet right there.
No, what is it? I think Danish people. I have a couple of Danish friends from high school, and they were saying like they're really cheap. Like they don't like to spend money on anything because they need to save all their money. That's the diet.
Well, you know, that's the safest capital of the world over there.
I know that's why they're the happiest people.
Yeah.
In Denmark, in the Netherlands, those are the happiest people in the world. Apparently,
that's the safest capital of the world. They keep.
So Nailah, yeah, we definitely would love to have you come on weekly. You can come on every day if you want, but we want to have you come on weekly if you like to, and we'll devote the day to financial health.
Yes, I love finances.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself out so I won't say a word.
Man, we got it. We have to let Jocelyn know. You know, she loves finances too.
And Chris will be back, you know, and Uji will come, you know, with a whole Nailah, the family over here, man, we different. Right. we in all parts of the country, number one, but we're different. Okay. So, but we do honestly, I'll kidding.
Yeah, we're all parts of the country, but from the same seed to Ja.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all from Gary.
Yeah.
We're all from Gary. Where you
Oh,
from, actually?
really?
Chicago?
I've never been. I'm from Chicago. Yeah.
You never been to Gary? Okay, take a step outside and down the block.
And look,
Right.
right,
I've been to Hammond. I've been to like Fort
right down
Wayne.
the street.
I've been to
You
Indiana.
passed
I
it.
just never been to Gary.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, good for you. But no, I'm joking.
I've been to
Gary's.
Munster. I've been other places, just not Gary.
Oh,
I
she went right
passed
around.
through it.
She went right around the corner and peeked around the corner. Peeked around. That's what she did.
Passed by the Jackson house and kept on going.
That's what it is. Okay. But yeah, we appreciate you, Nailah, most definitely. Okay. I mean, you've definitely enlightened us and opened people's eyes. Hopefully that we're listening, and those that are going to listen later. Don't forget, everyone, you can get at Nailah. You can go to her name, like she told me, because I'm remedial. Nailah.Fisher at nm.com. All right. And her number, let's put it up there one more time, is 630-368-3174. Get at her. Ask her any questions. Like I said, she's very professional. She knows what she's talking about. Get at her. She's gonna be on Dope Living TV live for a few. So you all make sure that y'all come and holler at us. All right. And when you have any questions for Nailah, send them to us. We'll make sure that Nailah gets the questions and she'll answer them. And Nailah, again, thank you. You're part of the family now. So Gina, let her know when we come on, and send her the link, and she can come on anytime. Even if you just come on for the other conversations, just come on.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you. I
definitely a
appreciate
pleasure
it.
having you. But she's always been a joy. I enjoyed having her for the Distinguished Authors Guild. She just brought so much joy.
I
That's what's-
appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me and welcoming me as part of the family. I'm glad I was able to provide some insight and be of service to you guys. So anytime you need me, I'm looking forward to doing a weekly, whatever day you guys like, and I'm super excited about it. And hopefully we can help people plan their lives and create that generational wealth and be financially free how they want.
That's right. Tell Sage we said what's up. She family too.
Yeah.
So before we go, I get out of all of that stuff, and let me get it back one more time, G.
You're beautiful. You're smart. You're loved. This week will be great. You got this. You're a badass. You can do this.
I love the fact that just swallow that last one, right? But I do have to give equal time, so let's give these girls a little bit.
Scripture time! Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. You know what that means? That means even if you can't see something happening, you trust the process and you trust God. Now that's faith. Yeah, girl, faith is an extra push that says, I don't think I can, I know I can. Give it to him, honey. I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. Ooh. Advice, take it twice.
Future old Soul Train dancers. That's what they are, okay? I'm telling you, but you know what? Here's the funny part about this. I found them.
You did?
Them, and they will be on this show soon, okay?
Are you kidding?
I am not kidding.
Invite me back for that one. I love them. Invite me back.
See, we have so much in common, Nailah. I love them too.
No.
They are so cute. They're so
They
funny.
are.
Their mother's going to come on, and I'm going to ask.
Are you serious?
I'm going to ask their mother, what pole did you have these little girls dancing?
Oh, no, you're not.
What?
Greg,
What
no,
pole did you have these little girls dancing on before they did that video? Okay.
They are just intelligent. They are very intelligent.
Motivated.
And
Don't.
yes.
Yes, exactly. Don't come for their intelligence. They have black girl magic. Let them show it.
Ay. I like that.
Okay.
There you
Nailah,
go.
you done?
Dang, she just stuffing it down.
See, you met your match.
You done? They gonna be that. Look, they gonna be at one of your local gas station convenience stores. Okay, talking about
No,
no,
we
you
can't. We
you
can't
have
allow
her,
that.
okay, you can't have. We sell them in a package, not single. That's
We
what
can't allow that.
they're gonna be doing. That I'm sorry, they too grown for me, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I spoke with their mother because their mother did not like, actually looked and did not like what I said about them, and we joked and laughed about it. I just said, you know what, I'm a comedian. That's what I do. It's funny, but I would love to have you guys come on. I
I
think
would too. That would be so awesome.
mother said
Man,
I
that
think
show
about,
that show would be packed up so hard it wouldn't even be funny.
Just make sure I'm here for
Get
it,
that,
so I
get
can be
that
on their side,
band,
right?
get
That's
the band.
right.
Nyla, I'm used to people not being on my side.
But you know what's going to be so funny? They're going to stand up to him, and then he won't be able to stand up to them.
Yeah, but they can't come at me with that little choo-choo train shit they just did. I think Step out of here with that. How the hell you bet that?
You say you gonna blink them on and off.
Man, I will derail that train, dude.
Blink them on and off. Have them blinking on and off. What's wrong with your wide band?
I will, man. Look, please, man. And you know, this was an old, so they're older now, so they got a little bit more stripper in them. So you know, all I say is this, man.
No,
Come on.
I'm gonna help them. What, Nailah? You're not grinning, Nailah. What's
They
up?
are children. You cannot be talking about children like that.
They're children.
What is wrong with you?
oh my goodness! I wish we had an off button on this end.
They're
Right,
child.
can we just cut his screen off?
Yes, we
Cut
can.
him out.
You know what?
See?
But you can't close the show if I ain't there.
We
Watch
don't need you there.
No, not I joke. I mean, I love those little girls. Their intelligence is something that's actually, it's not even rare anymore. There's a lot of young people like that are doing.
Well, I mean, this generation coming up, man. Like I said before, they are a long way from where we were at the same age, because they got tools that we didn't have.
You guys didn't have the well, shoot. Even my generation, really, as millennials, we didn't really have like access to the internet like they have it at their fingertips. You know, we didn't have that. You know, we had floppy disks and a box computer. I call them box computers and flip phones, but they
with a screen with a big old monitor.
Yes, every kid has one of these at their disposal. Every iPads and tablets. And so these kids, they are like, I'm taken aback. Sometimes I talk to kids. I'm like, why? My nephew, Sage's nephew, so my nephew, right? He's so smart. He's only 6 though. I'm like, this kid is like brilliant, but they have the resources at their fingertips.
Well, that brings me to a subject when you come back on, Nailah, I would like for you to kind of touch on the new phase of our young children having these debit cards. And
my goodness.
Is that really a training of financial management? We'll talk about it when you come back on.
Yeah, we're gonna say that conversation. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that when I come back on, because
that's a good one.
We're gonna say
that's a good. I have to think about some. Yeah, let's talk about that next time.
And I want to talk about. I also want to talk about over 80 dating.
Over 80 dating.
Why?
Wow.
What the hell?
Actually, I think we should talk about it. I was watching.
Ain't nobody Kindle. That's what they used to use when they used to get up in the morning. A Kindle light
component. We should talk. Gina told me about the sexologist that was on recently, and
over
80 dating, like in nursing homes and stuff. There's a lot of like STDs.
And how do you even bring the finances together at that age?
You don't. You'll get in trouble. You'll be broke.
You go to the next room and say, "Hey, girl, if you want to do some things, I got $5."
I got you. You know that's what your voice gonna sound like when you're 80, because you did it perfectly.
Please, Gina, enlighten.
Be a comedian. I could be a comedian too.
Please, Gina, enlighten Nailah that there's only one comedian on this show, and I will light her up.
Whoa. I think she can stand up to you.
I got 5 on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
And
we
she
gonna play
rocking back
Return
and
of the
forth.
Mac.
Hey, Greg. And she rocking back and forth too.
I'm just saying.
All right, I got 5 on it. You ain't enough. You old enough to have 5 on it. Talk about that song.
I'm just
Because it's
saying.
because it's the first time on the show, I am going to be so very, very
We'll
nice.
just
You
give up.
get used to it, Nyla.
It was okay. Next time I'll be ready for you. I already
Wow.
know what's going to happen. Tina will prep me. Okay, she's in my corner. All right.
You can never be ready for me.
If you try to light me up, just know I'm one of those people that, you know, I can stay in the kitchen when you put the heat on.
I love
Cool.
it.
I can be in the Bahamas when you have the heat on to 80 degrees. I can be in the car with you. I'm cool with it. I'm anemic, so the heat, I'm cool with the heat. Just saying.
She's telling I'm good with the heat.
I'm good. Crank it up.
I'm gonna let us slide today. Nailah, whatever your real name is. We
Excuse you, Gregory.
Oh Lord.
Trying to butcher my name. Talk about you with your nickname.
Gregory.
That hit a nerve.
Yeah, it did.
That hit a nerve.
So
when I find out your last name, I'm gonna call you like your mama did when she told you to come here.
Wait, hold on.
Don't come for my name.
Back
Greg.
up, baby, back up. Put that mug in reverse.
It's all love. It's all funny.
Script time.
He can't take it. He can't take it.
Oh Lord,
You're beautiful.
I just want to get it to you. That's all. Now that we appreciate you, all of this is done with love. I'm gonna go and take a real cold shower right now, and because I when I'm stressed, I go take showers, and then I have about an hour worth of sex, and then I'm done. So just an hour worth. And, okay.
Stay off them porn sites.
TMI.
Stay off the porn sites.
Yes, you mentioned it earlier, so I just thought I'd bring it up.
No, I thought that was part of your repertoire with the platinum porn channels.
No,
You're the one mentioned. You're the one that mentioned HBO and Young Kings, and I'm trying to show off. Okay, so I thought.
No, listen. Okay, nobody wants to subscribe to your OnlyFans. Okay.
Why not?
You ain't got the UK. This is not sexy chocolate. All right, it's not.
Let me show you my last OnlyFans check. Hold on. You don't want to see it? You want to see it?
Oh my gosh! I
got a whole $7.95.
Well, listen, you could save it. Put it aside.
Oh Lord, have mercy. We done with talk about. Like I say, we done with the financial guru right here. Okay, no, Nailah, appreciate you. This most definitely stayed on a little bit longer because I started a little started late. But everybody, please, Nailah.Fisher at shutyourmouth.com.
nm.com.
Oh, I thought it was shutyourmouth.com. I ain't know. Let me put it back up here one more time. If I can find it. I probably can't find it no more because she done pissed me off. But you didn't piss me off.
I'm just gonna tell you, Maurice is my favorite guy on the show right now. So you've been demoted, okay? And Maurice barely even said anything.
Hold on. Now I moved you up here with me. Now look.
Here. What?
Nailah.Fisher at nm.com. 630-368-3174. Everybody that wants to get financially healthy, let's do this, okay? Support. Okay, you'll see her soon on DopelivenTV Live. Until next time, it's Maurice Bishop. There's Gina Gadsden. Thank you, Gina, for bringing Nailah to us.
Good night.
And Nailah Fisher, man, we appreciate you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna be on vacation all next week, so I might chime in. I might be going Texas or something,
Hey man, handle your business. Enjoy yourself. Be safe, everybody. All right.
All right.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Peace out.
Thank you.